So I was thinking, yeah, and I know that's really dangerous for me, is what really makes me love to ride the motorcycle? And then, not only necessarily just benefits, but when I'm riding, am I thinking about something like when you're in a car? Or are you just enjoying it? So as we buy motorcycles, we invest in modifications or accessories, to a different extent for most people. If you happen to be a Harley owner, you probably invest a lot more than you should, but that's a whole different conversation for sure. But we invest a ton of money into our motorcycles to various degrees, right? Whether you buy a new one or you buy an old one, you are invested in your motorcycle. You just are, in financial ways, for sure, paying for it, maintenance, all that stuff, insurance. We are invested in our motorcycles. And when we try to sell them, if we do try to sell them, and no, I'm not selling any of my 2 motorcycles, there is that crap, that investment that I just gave away of doing all these modifications is now gone to somebody else. But yet, we still do it, right? We definitely still do it. So I'm like, so what makes you do that? What makes us, of course you want to make a motorcycle your own, the whole, how can I upgrade my bike? And, people will tell you buy a different bike and you won't have to do that and spend all that money, stuff that makes sense like that. But you are invested. And if you ever try to sell it, what do they say? You're selling it by the VIN number at the end of the day with all the stuff off it. So a lot of people will take all of the stuff off their motorcycles and then they'll just put it on the new one, or maybe they'll add another one, or crap, I don't want to take the pipes off, so I'll just leave them. But it's an investment that you make of not only money, but time, right? Time to take a motorcycle trip. Maybe you're taking your PTO time off work. Time potentially away from your family or your kids when you're riding, right? You are making an investment financially and in other ways to have and ride a motorcycle. Some would say that's a little crazy, but those are the people that don't have motorcycles, and they just don't get it, right? But why would a grown man or woman actually do something like that when they know it's probably not the right financial move? It's not like, and I guess there's some people who do that, they take an old bike, they build it, and then they sell it. Most of us want to ride it. And if we trade it back in for another bike, we're like, oh man, I shouldn't have done all those modifications. Look at all that money I gave away, because you're not going to get it back. But then you kind of go, I don't care. I'll redo it. And that doesn't make much sense. You'll be riding a car like that if you think that way all the time, right? So my point is, we are invested in our motorcycles without a doubt, from a time, money, and all that stuff, right? And it's a depreciating asset. So, it's like buying a new car. You drive it off the lot, you lose $6,000 or whatever the heck it is, right? So it's not like you buy a house and then the house appreciates. You know it when you buy it that it is going to be worth less value. Now, you may say, I'm not going to buy another motorcycle anyway, so I don't care. And I'm with you there, right? I'm with you there. And you see all these guys that just say, just buy the damn bike. Now, I will share a really quick story. A colleague of mine's father mother and father won the lottery about 3 months ago. $4 million from a scratch-off. Now, I don't know if they won it 3 or 4 months ago exactly, and I'm not sure. I think it was in Michigan, so don't go tracking them down. And I got a call 2 weeks ago that just said, hey, his father passed away. So, it's what you do when you're a teammate and a colleague. You go to the viewing, pay your respects. That's what you do. And it was a surprise to everybody. I believe he had a heart attack, but they weren't actually sure. They didn't do an autopsy. I guess in certain counties you don't have to do that. I'm not sure how I started talking about dead people on this motovlog, but I'll get through this quickly to make my point. But, I went in to pay my respects and talk to him, and he kind of reminded me about, it's amazing. He just won $4 million, and now he's laying over there, right? And in his own kind of, joking, really way to cope with things type stress deal, right? So I'm like, yeah, and it makes you think of those things that you invest in and what could happen to you, right? So you're like, okay, maybe I should just buy that damn bike because it is an investment in our sanity. It is in our investment of riding through woods like this, giving a guy a wave, just going, oh my God, feel that air. Feel how relaxed I feel. Feel how good I feel. Or it's going on a vacation with buddies and riding in, whether it's in the mountains or does it really matter, right? It's when you're hanging out with people, or it's I've just become best friends with 2 or 3 people that I never thought I would hang out with because I bought a motorcycle. I invested in that motorcycle. And then it helped me get to meet other people that may be in different areas of the world. Maybe they do a different job. They may be of different ages. They may be of everybody that you thought maybe you wouldn't hang out with. All of a sudden you got that common bond of motorcycles. It just kind of brings you together. And then it's not just about motorcycles. I love coming by here. Isn't that beautiful? But I will say the thing to me that really does it is you really can meet some amazing people. And the older you get, the more you invest, in my mind, in people and friendships. And I think I've talked about this before. You can have 50 friends or 50 acquaintances, and I think you can be friends with a lot of people. But those 2 or 3, it's actually if I can play a clip. No, I can't play that clip because the guy's swearing in it. But he makes the comment about, what? If you only had 2 or 3 true friends, buddies, right? You could conquer the world. 2 or 3 people together can just do whatever the heck they want to. And a lot of that now, and I think I have those friends, both in the motorcycling world out of it, and I'm invested in those friendships, and a lot of those have been brought to me by motorcycles. So, don't know where I started with this video, but I can tell you that the investment that we make in motorcycles, at the end of the day, is an investment that we're making in ourselves. Regardless if I spent an extra couple $1,000 on an exhaust system, regardless if I bought a used motorcycle, regardless if I try to dodge these street bicyclists just for my own kicks. I'm kidding. Focus, BoDean, focus. Make the investment, buy the damn bike. Because you may win the lottery, and then you may have people looking down on you. Be safe out there, friends. Thanks for checking in. I'll try to keep the funeral stuff out of my future moto vlogs and communications with you, but I definitely appreciate it. Tons and tons of new subscribers. Thank you for joining a little bit of the craziness. I'll give you a little more of that and continue to put out content, hopefully, to share my experiences on these beautiful things that we do as motorcycles. Be safe. Check in our friend. We'll talk to you on the next one, folks. Bye-bye.